you didn't see that coming. I had to do it. I had to do it, guys. Got a sit-down Outrun back. Well, not back in the house. I never had a sit-down one before, but Outrun is back in the house. And I couldn't be happier. And guys, it's the sit-down version. It's not deluxe, not the deluxe, but it is the standard sit-down version, full hydraulics. But we're going to talk about this machine and the current state of it soon. Fundamentally, again, as I've said before, it was such a transformational game for me back in the 80s. You know, I can still remember it sitting there in that burger bar and just being blown away by these stunning graphics. So how did I pull this off? Because these things don't come around that often. And if you notice where it is sitting right now, normally I've got the Cruisin' Worlds, and of course they have gone. So that is part of the puzzle, guys. But first of all, I had to think very carefully of who that I know actually has an Outrun. And when I thought about it, it was fairly obvious. The person that sold me the original Outrun that I bought and then traded on to Cal, who traded me some really good machines. I'm not discounting that. I thought, those Cruisin' Worlds that I've got, that I had here, I thought, those actually would be much better at Michael's place than they would here. I mean, I love the game, guys, I truly do, and playing head-to-head is amazing. But I'm not going to get as much opportunity to do that as opposed to those machines being on site. It's a little bit like the Daytonas, you know, I've got the twin Daytonas, it's awesome fun. But it's more fun when you're playing against someone else, and of course that's only when you've got other people over. So I thought I might as well, you know, see and put an offer in, including those machines and a cash offer in there as well, effectively for the Outrun and the other mystery machine, which we'll find out soon about. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut to the pickup. We'll just peace out, enjoy the pickup with me, see the process, and during that you'll see the extra machine that I picked up. Once we've done that, and once you've seen me get it all in with Alex, thank you Alex, getting that machine inside, once that's all done, let's come back and let's talk very quickly about the new machine other than Outrun, and then guys, let's have a look at Outrun. I've got to show you around this machine, the quirks, the things that need to be resolved with it, and we're going to do that on future episodes. If you haven't subscribed, you want to see where this thing goes. It won't be a massive restore, but there's definitely going to be some things here that I'm going to do, and we've definitely got to get the hydraulics going. So please subscribe, and of course if you like this video, give it a like. You may as well while we're here. But let's go now and have a look at the pickup. So there you go, guys. You can see what a monumental effort that was to get the Outrun in here. And of course, in that video, you would have seen that, yes, I picked up also a Sega Enduro Racer. And guys, that's a machine that wasn't necessarily on my radar, but I have seen it before at Player One, and I really took to it when I saw it last. Because the cool thing is that you can lift the motorbike up, and of course you can turn it, and you got the handlebars to get your speed up and stuff. So it just, you know, feels like the real thing. But the cool thing about the tilt is that there are so many games that utilize that sort of, you know, getting into motocross games where you're up in the air and you've got to balance yourself, and so you can sort of do that. It's a really nice controller mechanism, and I really do like these unique sort of controller mechanisms. I don't have a bike game currently in the arcade. It's such a cool cabinet, it really is. I really like it. The artwork on the sides are really cool. It's just a really nice package again from Sega. And I just thought, this is a, you know, it's got an original board in it, which doesn't work, it's problematic. I quite like to get the original board going, and again, in line with my thought process now around a lot of my original machines, is have the original board, have it going, but also have the ability to flick over into some emulation. I think that particular setup could go really well. I saw a YouTube video of another guy who had done exactly that with the same cabinet, and he had latest like you know, I don't know if they're PS4 games, but or even the latest PC games, but cool motocross games playing in that. Of course, he took the screen out and had a LCD in there. I don't think I'd do that. It's got quite a nice bezel and so forth there. But anyway, that's something that we'll come back to another day, guys. I just thought we'll grab it, we'll park it in storage for the moment, and we will definitely come back and get into that as a project. But what a cool setup. And the fact that it's another, you know, classic Sega machine to go along with the Outrun, it really, really is a fantastic pickup. I'm so overjoyed. So guys, enough of all the backstory, enough of the pickup. It's time now to have a closer look at the Outrun. Let's have a look at it and see, you know, there's a number of things that actually need attention. So let's walk around the machine and take a look. Rightio, so first things first, guys, it is a fully working Outrun in terms of the game itself, and we have sound. Now, one of the things I want to do with the sound is something that came up in Delusional Arcade, good old Dell over there, and he did a very cool video in showing how to tap into some extra audio outs on the Outrun board and hook up a sub. In fact, there's a full mix of audio outs. So on this particular standard sit-down cab, you'll notice it's a bit different to the deluxe version, which I believe has additional speakers left and right at the back. I could actually run a full you know, 2.1 system from the extra audio outs on the board. And what I'd love to do is put a sub under the seat. Let's get this off and see if there's room to do that. And maybe, you know, just maybe get the other speakers in the back here. They'll be a bit muffled and so forth, you know, just behind the wood. But it might just add to the surround sound. So anyway, working board, working sound, but we don't have working hydraulics. Now apparently everything is complete, everything is there, all the cabling is there, but we don't have the Outrun motor driver board. Now, I know Michael looked high and low for this at the time. Again, as I said, he wasn't, I don't think, that keen to actually have it running in the shop, but he probably just wanted to sort of try it out. He could always use it when the kids aren't in doing their music. But he couldn't get one. In fact, he ended up buying one, and I think it was for a San Francisco Rush or something. It was a completely different game, obviously. It wouldn't work, clearly. And yeah, he wasn't able to pick one up. Now, I have managed to source one from the cool guys over at UK VAC, and we will talk more about that once the board arrives. Now, the board that I'm getting is a recreation, guys. It's a rebuild. The very talented guys over there actually created and rebuilt the PCB to use in this cab. So, but again, we'll more details on that and more details about the individual involved that has forwarded me off a package with a motor driver board in it. So we will get that in here, we'll test it, and we'll talk a little bit about the UK VAC boys that did that. So that is really cool. So what else? Well, other than that, we sort of end up looking at a lot of cosmetic stuff, some pretty obvious stuff. You guys that know these machines, this weird blue here, this should actually be red, and there's some sort of decal stuff here. We've got a non-standard shifter which came with these. This is just a standard high-low, a little rusty, a bit chunky too. Oh, see it clicks. It's a bit late and it's changing. That of course isn't the genuine Sega one. It is on the left-hand side, guys, for us guys that drive this way in Australia. So yeah, so this really needs to be red. I need a new gear stick. I need the decals around here for the gear shifter, and on the other side we have the same issue with the blue, and we've just got the red cover on that side for when the gear stick, I guess, is on that side. So that needs to be resolved. We've got sort of quite a bit of wear around here, and guys, I really want to spend a bit of time doing this up. You know, not fully rip it down and restore, but maybe one day I will do that. But for now, I want to get a lot of the core aesthetics sorted out. I'm pretty keen, actually, get rid of this carpet on the seat and actually build in, like either build in a real car seat in here, or, you know, overlay some rippled leather of the same style of a Testarossa of the Ferrari, right? That would be pretty awesome. Of course, whatever I do, I won't you know, damage the original wood that will be able to be put back in to bring it back to stock if we need to. But I think that'll be a really nice addition. The other thing is that on this the steering wheel, this is the replacement steering wheel. It's a plastic steering wheel that Sega apparently released because the rubberized ones on the original Outrun used to get picked and the rubber used to get cut off. Now that's a much nicer wheel, the rubber one, and has the sort of attempted Ferrari logo on there, which is slightly different, I guess, from the licensing issues they were experiencing at the time. And this one doesn't have that. I really want to try and track down an original Outrun with the nice spongy one, which was actually the wheel that I had on my stand-up before I traded it to Cow. So looking out for one of those guys. If you've got one, let me know. Or if you know of one out there, please let me know. We'll get the changeover. Now there is also, I can feel there's a bit of a clink and clang in here. It does move okay, but it's sort of, yeah, I can feel it sort of clicking and stuff. So we're going to have to get in behind here, guys. We're going to have to look at the mechanism, sort all that out. We've got gauge lights. There's some lights out on the cluster. The ones that are going, it's a bit strange. It's sort of like deep red. I don't know what colour it is on the video here. It looks orange, but this is actually a very deep red. And then this should be orange, I think, around the outside. I don't know, but it's like half red. It's like, I don't know what's going on there. There's also a crack. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there's a crack on that perspex there. So if I wanted to get that back genuine, I'm also probably going to be looking at another perspex plate and sort out all those lights behind the back end. Now the screen's okay. We've got a bit of a degauss issue. The degauss switch is actually down here, but this degauss switch doesn't actually work, so that's not actually rigged up to this monitor. And I must admit, guys, I'm sort of keen to see if it will fit a 26-inch monitor. And I don't know about that yet. I know, again, I don't like sort of changing things out from standard, but if you look at it, it's really just a piece of wood around here and a standard bezel. There's quite a lot of space here. It's a little bit dark, can't really see. We'll look at this another day. But there's quite a bit of space on either side. I reckon a 26 would fit in here. Now, of course, the Deluxe Outrun actually does have a 26, but the Deluxe Outrun also has an extended bulge up the top here, I think, to fit the frame of a 26-inch, and this doesn't, although it probably would be possible removing this board here. Sorry, it's not focusing very well, but by removing this top board here we could probably do that. But I don't know if I want to go that far, guys. Maybe I'll just keep playing it and see if I like it on the 20-inch. This is the same size as what's in the stand-up. So what else do we have? Well, this top area here, I believe this should be lit, and also there are 2 lights here, I believe, for the stop or the brake lights. And I don't know if they flash in between each other or just flash on together when you put your foot on the brake. That's sort of quite nice. Of course, the Deluxe has the lights on the back, you know, with the full fiberglass wheels and stuff. But still, that's a nice little addition, and we'll have to get these going. They're not working at the moment. The top of this looks like it's seen a lot of sun, guys, and it's a little bit, yeah, it's a bit melted. It's a bit melted, so not sure what we're going to do about that. We'll have to get this off. I don't know if we can buy this shroud again. Otherwise, maybe a heat gun or something, and try and sort that out. I'm not sure. Anyway, a bit of work to be done there. What else we got? Well, down here, I mean, the whole side of the machine is actually really, really good. You know, there's a little mark and stuff. We can probably sort that out. But it's actually very, very good. You know, the grey could probably do with a touch-up paint. But then we come to here, which is obviously where people bring their foot up into the machine and it kicks over. You can see this is pretty much delaminated here and cut away. So I'm going to have to take this off. I think this comes off with this whole piece here. I'll look up under here somewhere. I think there's some screws. We'll look at it again when we actually go ahead and do this, but I think I'll remove all this, take that piece of wood. I'm going to have to bog this up and fill it, and we will sort that out for sure. We've got these weird Outrun stickers here. Now, these are the stickers that actually are on the front kick plate of the stand-up versions in Australia. I don't think they feature on the US cabs, but over here in Oz, they're the ones in the front kick. They shouldn't be on here, so I will actually peel those off because they just look weird. And also this big Outrun sticker here, well, this is not even stuck on right, and it sort of just distracts a little from this whole side profile. Of course, we've got the main Outrun here. We don't need this on an angle. That horrible sticker. So we'll get rid of that, guys. And of course, look at this carpet. What is going on here with this blue carpet? It's quite horrid, and that's got to go. So normally this is just the top of the grey machine, and these panels come out. So we're going to do that. We're going to open these panels up when we get the board, the motor board. Going to check inside and have a look at the mechanics, see if we need to grease anything up. And eventually I'm hoping to get some sort of cool carpet on here. I mean, maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I won't get carpet on here. Maybe we'll just look and see what the condition is of the metal. You know, I really love to take this whole thing apart and just give it the once-over treatment. And I may do that, guys. This is like a car for me, like a literal car. This is like buying a classic car. And over many years, I'm happy to continually tweak it and bring it up to spec. So we're definitely going to do that. We'll get rid of this horrible blue carpet here, which is the same carpet. I'd really like to get some black carpet here with maybe the Ferrari logo. I think that would be really cool with the cream leather seat here. That's really comfy. And guys, I think that's going to end up just topping this up. I mean, it's a beautiful cabinet as it is. I've been loving to play Outrun on here, even as it is, even without the hydraulics going. It just reminded me why I shouldn't have let my original Outrun go in the first place, guys. Now, one really strange thing is I had a sort of, not an opportunity to buy one of these, but I came across one of these when we picked up the Neo Geo years ago, not years ago, but a year or so ago. And at the time, I think I justified it in terms of not wanting to put a sort of offer in or anything because it was too big. And of course, back then, I didn't really have this additional space out in the living room to put these games. And so this in the arcade would again take up at least sort of 1.5 or the same size as the Daytonas. Not quite. In fact, this particular standard model is smaller width-wise than the main deluxe, although having said that, the deluxe bottom piece comes out and completely covers where the coin box is, and the coin box sort of sits up above it. So it might actually be the same size, but just basically the base is literally, you know, along there and across. One thing that, yeah, I did find odd was now that I have one of these, I always thought that I would want the deluxe version. And now when I look at it, I sort of feel like the deluxe version sort of reminds me of one of those kiddie rides in the shopping centre, because it just sort of looks like that, right? With the big fake car. Whereas this is actually a little more subtle. And for me anyway, in the setup that I've got, I think it'd be a bit different if there was tons of machines around. It sort of wouldn't matter. But for me, this is a little bit more subtle, a little bit more discreet. It's quite stylistic actually. And I must admit, the design has grown and grown and grown on me. And of course, there's nothing better than playing Outrun, especially when you're playing, you know, potentially a long game, by sitting down and playing it that way. And clearly, guys, once the hydraulics goes here as well, it's going to be cool. Now, I don't know if there's supposed to be force feedback on the steering wheel. I got a feeling that there wasn't, and it does it like a shutter. I've seen on videos it does a shutter when you go off-road and stuff, which I thought was a sort of replacement for the shaker motor, which is in the stand-up. If anyone knows, please comment below. But if it does need a shaker, if it's supposed to have a shaker motor, it's not working, and so we'll have to check and see that. But other than that, I think all of that does its little shake, and then it does its move and turns and stuff once the hydraulics are going. Let's hope, guys, that the hydraulics can go, and once we get the board in, that there's no other major problems. But if there is, I will be pulling this thing apart further to find out, to get this going, guys, because come on, a moment's silence. It's Outrun, guys. It's Outrun, and it is back in the house in all its sit-down glory. I'm so happy. So happy. So that's it for now on the cabinet. We're going to jump in, of course. We've got to jump in. Let's play some games. Okay, guys, let's go. Now, this does have the extended ROMs, the ones that were released to allow you to put it in free play, and it still does this nice track sequence. Where I think normally, when you do this, it just puts it up to the choose music screen. So it's a nice little addition. It also does high score saves and so forth. I've just noticed though that I have lost my high scores because it's been over a couple of days, because it actually uses, I think, some of the other capacitors on the board to save the high scores, but you really need to keep the machine up and running on a daily basis. And I think since I've had it, I might have missed 2 days, and that is why I have lost scores. So I'm going to figure out a different way of doing that. I think you can get a better super cap to save those scores. But anyway, let's start. Oh, guys. It's just so nice to have Outrun back. Now, I know, remember, I put Cannonball Outrun on the PC, and it is really good. There's no doubt about it. And you do the whole widescreen thing and up the frame rate, and it's really cool. The only challenge I must say now that I've got this real one back is that the steering on a real machine is so precise. And the steering on Cannonball, at least I haven't quite dialed it in. Now clearly that's going to be different depending on what hardware you've got, surely. So I don't know if any of you have got Cannonball out there that have got it really dialed in to the point where it plays like a real Outrun machine. but I couldn't get that to do that actually. Now that I've got this and can do the comparison, I quite like going this way actually. A slightly harder route. I make it because I was a little bit slow there. And because I've found actually on Cannonball that I've hardly ever got even to the first checkpoint just because of steering issues. And so I feel like if I lose out on the real Outrun, I feel like it's more my fault than the steering. But guys, this game, look at the graphics on this. Again, for the time, this was just incredible. I mean, I remember like driving games on the PC that just didn't look this nice for years and years and years. And it's funny, like you'd have no grass or anything, you know, it would always be just flat green. And, you know, Outrun has like the pseudo grass because it's all the scalar graphics, so it's not real 3D, of course. But typically, yeah, grass would normally be flat like this and not all cool where we see in some parts of the, like here, you like all that cool grass. But the scenery's just beautiful, the skies, like these sunsets. Well, and I just love the crash animation. It's something else. You're in a Ferrari, guys. You're cruising around on the highway. Beautiful scenery. And the music is just classic. And I'm just looking forward to playing the hell out of this. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when we get the boards going, get the hydraulics going. I actually don't think I have played a hydraulic version of the cab. So it's going to be a new experience for you guys. So we'll just see how that is. But that wasn't too bad for a first shot. We got a little way in and we took the hard route, didn't we? So we can go the other way. Oh, I guess I get to, yeah, put my initials in, guys. I reckon this music here, I think I heard it on Dell's arcade, or that was Chunky on the steering wheel, when he put his subwoofer in, and it was a nice deep bass through the sound, if I recall correctly. So I'm missing some of that dynamic sound. I think if we get that speaker under my butt here, and for the sub, it reminds me, we'll kick off another game while I tell you the story. It reminds me of, there was a game, a PC game, I can't remember what it was. It was sort of like, I think it was called, maybe it was called Stunts. A little bit like hard driving back in the day. And you could drive, like, I think you could choose like a Jaguar, like a Jag. And this Jag would just have this awesome bass if you hooked up a, you know, Sound Blaster sound card. And we had this like big 15-inch subwoofer in a session bin speaker, you know, used for really PAs. But back then I used it actually for my electronic drums, and it was a huge thing. It was the size of a stool, and we used to sit on this 15-inch sub and hooked up through the computer, through an amp, of course, out the outputs, and the absolute rumble of these cars as they cruised around on the tracks was something else. So I quite like to, you know, try and recreate a bit of that. I don't know how much Outrun has on the bottom end in terms of the sound of the car. There's quite a bit of music in here. We've taken the easy route, and I'm finding it difficult to concentrate and talk at the same time. A little unusual for me. But Outrun does demand, I must admit, it does demand your full attention. But yeah, that was fun, guys. That was fun back in the day. And I think I'm really looking forward to just tricking this machine out of it and treating it a little bit like an old classic car. And this machine is not going anywhere. This one is not going to be traded, guys. This is staying in Spacies Arcade. Cal, you can't convince me to trade this for anything. Don't you go offering me a Star Wars with a real vector monitor in it or anything stupid like that. Well, I haven't done very well on this one. I don't think I'm going to make it. No, I'm not. And we didn't even make it on the easy side there, 284. So let's one more game, guys, and this time I shall be quiet, which is difficult for me. And we shall just play the game. Let's just go AAA here because we might lose these scores anyway. I need to get that big super cap in, and or some sort of battery backup. All right. Get ready. Here we go. In low. Okay, quiet, Greg, quiet. Oh, let's do that. Well, not always, but... Oh, am I gonna make it? I had to have done that last little mistake there. 4, 3. Nah, not gonna make it, am I, guys? Game over. Alright, well guys, this has probably been a fairly long video, so so good. Have this back. Just listen to this cruisy music. Sounds of the waves splashing on the beach. It's just... Alright guys, let's finish up. So there you go, guys. That's it for this episode. I bet you weren't expecting that at the start of the show. It was pretty fun to do that little intro for you. So good to have Outrun back. I'm absolutely over the moon. I've been more over the moon actually every night I come out. I've been coming out here, guys, and standing here and admiring it. I kid you not, been turning on the lights and just looking at it, pinching myself. How do I have this sit down Outrun now back in Spacies Arcade, or at least out here in the living room? It's all part of Spacies Arcade. So very happy. Again, thanks to everyone that contributed to the move. Again, thanks to Michael for giving up the game for me. I really do appreciate it. Cal, Salah and Alex, thank you so much for assisting. And I think for the next episode we will actually do what I started off in this episode, which was we need to look at that mystery game and we will find out what it is, guys. And also we'll go into talking about what are the sort of things to look for when you buy these games, to see if you can find some of these hidden gems in the rough. So we will do that on an upcoming video. For now though, I think I'm going to have another game. Of course I'm going to have another game of Outrun, and for that I am going to need, as usual, some coinage. So Optimus Sign, got a 20.
Second, fight like a robot.